Hi, my name is Dana Davis. I'm with Orbit Media at Muskingum University, and I am here with Jennifer Lyle, the newly elected mayor of New Concord. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm just fine, Dana. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I am a local, more or less. I grew up here and graduated from John Glenn in 1972. I then lived in other places, mostly in New York City, for many years. I moved back here temporarily about 17 or 18 years ago. It was the end of 2001. And that was temporary, but while I was here, I met the man who became my husband, Jim Burson, and we got married, and this is now permanently my hometown. I have been on village council for 6 years now, so I'm in the middle of my second term. And prior to that, I've been involved in village development outside of governance ever since I moved back. I was asked to lead an organization called Renew, which is an organization that started in the 1980s and is responsible for all the downtown developments that were made. And I led that for a number of years, and I've done a number of other things along the way, but I've pretty constantly been involved in village development ever since I've been back.
All right, so talking about your newly elected position as mayor, what was the first thing that went through your mind as you found out that you were elected as a new mayor?
Almost disbelief. I had no expectations one way or another because the only thing that matters is what the voters do at the voter booth. And so I really had no idea what to expect. When I saw the numbers, I was overjoyed.
So, what is the first thing that you want to do as your first day in office as mayor?
Well, let me just say for at the beginning is that I am still a village council member and will remain a village council member until December 31st. So January 1st is when my new position will begin. And I think one of the very first things that I will be doing is meeting with everybody on staff at Village Hall. I need to get to know everybody more than I already do. I'd like them to hear from me because this is a big change. And I'd like to start off with the people and the team who are the ones that keep our village going and make it as good as it is.
Awesome. All right. So I have another question. It's a little bit more towards Muskingum University students. So what are some things and changes that you want to implement that directly impact Muskingum University?
That's very interesting. It's such a big question because Muskingum University is so important and so interrelated with the village of New Concord. I truly believe that if we aren't succeeding, it will impact Muskingum's ability to succeed, and conversely, if Muskingum isn't succeeding, it will impact the village's ability to succeed. So I certainly expect overall to have a really strong relationship, give and take, and conversations with the university. In terms of specifics, I think it's too soon for me to say anything because I am somebody who reaches out a lot to find out what's going on with people. And I would like to have a much better understanding of what students would like, what the university would like. I think anything we do will impact students in various ways. Certainly if, as we pursue our goal of having a thriving downtown, that would absolutely impact students, and I hope in a good way. Another area that is very important to me is civic engagement. That means having everybody involved. It means that having everybody come out and vote. New Concord actually has a pretty high participation rate, but overall in this country it's not that high. But how that applies to the Muskingum campus is this. I really would love to have students more involved in leadership in the village, however that might work out. And I know, for example, I was struck by this knowing that the John and Annie Glenn Public Service Fellows were the group that designed the questions for the candidate forum. And I loved that, and it seems to me that that could be a really wonderful kickoff for having conversations about how we might be able to work together over time.
During the Orbit community debate that we had with you and Brett Essex and the school board, one of the questions was, what are you looking forward to in terms of development? So what kind of businesses do you want to try and bring into New Concord that, again, would specifically impact Muskingum University students?
Number one is restaurants. having a diversity of restaurants, and especially restaurants that are open. We have very nice restaurants that are open during the day and for casual fast food, but probably a wider variety of restaurants, number one. Number two, stores that specifically serve the needs of younger people, and again, what those might be. I think that the Muskingum community will answer that much better than I'm going to be able to, because I'm a few decades older than all of you in terms of knowing what you want. But we would want to work towards that. Honestly, beyond businesses, I have a really strong interest in public art. And I think that that signifies the kind of vibrancy that we're looking for in our downtown. What that could look like, who knows? This is just a general idea, and as with everything, it'll take lots of conversation with lots of people.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer Lyle. Thank you for visiting. For Orbit Media, I'm Dana Parsons.